So there are people in Arizona who have decided that they are going to be right there in front of the polling places with shotguns and pickup trucks. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. What you just witnessed was those folks in those trucks with shotguns at a polling place. Yeah, I would say that that is intimidation. And as much as those on the ultra right continue to talk about how the elections are rigged and that there is a rampant voter fraud. Voter fraud is illegal, yes it is. But so is voter intimidation. And they just making this stuff up as they go. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And these folks have a lot of good stories, but not a whole lot of truth. Jessica, I'm just flabbergasted, quite honestly, to see these people in pickup trucks with shotguns in front of polling places.
Yeah, this is an intimidation tactic. I mean, that person sitting on the back of the truck looks like one of the Charlottesville protesters. They look like someone who showed up on January 6th. You know exactly what type of person this person is. We know the look by now. We know why they're out there. They are fighting against any kind of expansion of voting rights and making voting more accessible. Ballot boxes where you can drop off your vote is a reasonable response to people who can't cast a ballot on election day because most people are working. Most people have families to go home and take care of. They don't have time to go out and vote in person. And now their response to this one step that's been made to make voting more accessible is to intimidate them to not use the ballot boxes. This is a modern day Jim Crow. That's exactly what this is. We know exactly what kind of people they're trying to discourage from voting. This is in Maricopa County. They've been calling the people who are using the ballot boxes mules, people who are just like harboring votes. To use the term mule when someone's just trying to go and vote in Maricopa County where there are a ton of Latinos, that's a racist dog whistle, if not just openly racist.
Yeah, it is. And look at the gear that they were wearing. I mean, full out tactical gear, really, in Mesa, Arizona. You just gotta kind of wonder what is going through the minds of people that would even use any of their energy and time to do things like this. And the police confirmed that they were armed. I mean, they had flat out magazine clips and acting as though I thought they were going off to war. The way they were looking, they actually looked like they were going off to war. And I want you to remember when Joe Biden won Arizona and Republicans couldn't believe it. So Maricopa County, the largest county in Arizona, emerged as a key election denial flashpoint in 2020 as Trump supporters baselessly accused local officials of engaging in fraud to deny the former president a second term. President Joe Biden narrowly won that state in 2020, a victory that was subsequently confirmed by a GOP-led review of the vote count. And even then, that was not good enough. And the county knows that this is happening. We have received 4 reports forwarded by the Arizona Secretary of State's office. We encourage any voter who feels threatened, harassed, or intimidated to report it. It is unacceptable and unlawful to impede any voter from participating in the election. These folks need to be arrested. I mean, they absolutely need to be arrested. Who's gonna walk up there or even want to put their ballot in the box when you see mad men, and maybe there's some mad women with them too, dressed like that? As if they're on the hunt, because that's exactly what they look like, that they are on the hunt. Here's what one complaint said. Let's put this up. Cameo-clad people taking pictures of me, my license plates, as I dropped our mail in ballots in the box. When I approached them asking names, the group they're with, they wouldn't give anything. They asked why I wanted to know. Well, it's because it's a personal attack. And this was one of the complainants in Maricopa County. But this isn't new. Just last week, a group called Clean Elections USA said this.
We're just out here watching boxes, and before I make any kind of statement or anything, I'd like to get in the suntan, getting some vitamin D.
So you're getting vitamin D or you're watching the drop boxes?
And that was a good question by that reporter, Jessica. Getting vitamin D or you watching the drop boxes? And if you're getting vitamin D, why do you feel the need to get that vitamin D down at the polling place? Why can't you get that vitamin D in your yard, at home where you live? That was a great question.
Yeah, what's the secret there? Who sent them out there? Who do they have to go and call to get permission to talk to the press? And seriously, for so long, people have quietly been purging the voter rolls. They've been quietly gerrymandering districts to dilute black votes in this country. And so long as people are quiet when these things are slowly happening, now we've reached a point where people feel bold enough that they can just show up and intervene with elections directly. Not only people who are giving very partisan trainings to people who are supposed to be carrying ballots from polling places to counting places, who are supposed to be nonpartisan, totally neutral entities. Now they're getting trainings with very specific instructions and being taught this idea that there will be fraud, that you should anticipate it. That's really where we're at in this country. And if you've been quiet for so long about all of this going on, that's what leads us to this point.
That's exactly right. A lot of these folks who are wired to believe that it's just this rampant fraud going on have been wired this way by the rhetoric from the ultra right. And the truth of the matter is that there is very little voter fraud going on in the United States of America. The Brennan Center did a report, and in that report, they determined that you have a greater likelihood of being struck by lightning than you do to have folks engaging in voter fraud. And you know what, Jessica, what's the payoff for it? You're going to jail if you are caught engaging in voting fraud. It's not like one of them crimes, for example, if you're robbing a bank, well, you know what the outcome, you might get away with the cash. What in fact do you get away with? What does it benefit you to knowingly participate in voter fraud? There's no gain for you in that.
And just to really highlight how absurd this is, if you've never casted your ballot in this way, showing up to the box, it's in a sealed envelope. It's not open. You seal it shut and you put it in the box. What are they doing by watching this process happen? Nothing. You can't check someone's ID against their ballot because when they're bringing it to the ballot box, it is sealed. There's nothing you can accomplish. There's no fraud you can detect by simply standing out by the ballot box. So really what they were doing was, yeah, maybe getting some vitamin D. What a ridiculous answer. You're there to intimidate voters. Let's be real.
That's it. And voter intimidation, let us repeat, is against the law. This group, Clean Elections USA, this is what they had to say. We must legally deter people from committing voter fraud. The only way we can do this is to monitor those drop box locations with a team of volunteers, armed volunteers. That is why we're reaching out to patriots like yourself who have similar concerns. In short, we need your help. In short, we full of it. That's what this is about. They are full of it. This should not be allowed, and those folks should be arrested on site for voter intimidation. This is wrong.